Harihi Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryan Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So today we will go through two topics, or at least we will start the second one, see how it will go. The first topic that we are going to take is perceiving Krishna in his creation. I would say it's a very, very practical topic for us. Why? Because our goal is to be able to remember Krishna and to see Krishna everywhere. But generally, with our material senses, we cannot see Krishna. Our material senses cannot perceive him. The Lord is transcendental. Transcendental means he's above the perception of material senses. So how can we see something spiritual with our material senses, with our eyes? It's not possible. Then now this topic is very practical. How, with our material senses, we can perceive Krishna in the material world, in this creation. Isn't it practical topic? Mm-hmm. It is very practical for us. Let's first start with Bhagavad Gita. In 10th canto of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking question Krishna. After Krishna describing to Arjuna how he is the Supreme Lord, he is the greatest personality, and then Arjuna is asking, okay, Krishna, you describe to me that you are the Supreme Lord, and I believe it, and other sages also believe it. But now, if you are the Supreme Lord, how can we perceive you here, at that moment, now, in the material world? Because I believe that you are the Supreme Lord, but what about others? Please describe us your opulences. You told me because you're the Supreme Lord, you are entering in everything. I want to know how. Describe to me how you are entering in everything, how through your energy you are everywhere. Describe this to me. And then, in this 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this is what Krishna is doing. He is describing how, through his potencies, through his energies, he is entering everywhere. And he is the best of everything. And then, next chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is saying, okay, you described it to me, and I believe it, but people will not believe it. So, you said, and I accept, but can you show it? If you are really God, you should be able not just to speak, but rather to show. So show me. And then in 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this is what Krishna is doing. He's saying to Arjuna, oh, what I just said, you want to see it? Okay, no problem. And while Krishna and Arjuna were in one place, in this chariot, in the middle of the two armies, suddenly Krishna revealed his universal form. So basically, in one place, Arjuna was able suddenly to perceive everything within the universe in one place. All the planets, all the planetary systems, all the demigods, all the demons, all the beasts, all the snakes, everything. Whole universe at one moment in front of him, like on a cinema. And it is said in Bhagavad Gita, it was so amazing and so bewildering that he started getting frightened. It was so amazing, all this. Bhagavad Gita is saying that effulgence that this form of Krishna had, this universal form, it was stronger than 1,000 suns. So effulgent was this form, so Arjuna, he became like stunned. What is this? I never saw something like that. How it is possible? All this at the same time in one place. So Krishna proved how actually he is everything. He is the best of everything. And this is very practical for us because generally during our day we have to go in different places and do different things, yes? It's not that we are spending the whole day in the temple chanting Hare Krishna.
Even you?
I'm trying. Everybody has to go and do something somewhere. Even I have to go to get my security card or arrange my New York ID or, I don't know, buy juice from the shop. So while we are doing these apparently material engagements and duties, we can still remember Krishna and perceive Him. This is the subject that we are discussing. And how? Well, there are so many amazing things in this world that we will be attracted to them. And we should try to see through our intelligence how everything, the best in every place, in every sphere of life, is representation of the power, the might of Krishna. For example, we see a beautiful picture. Why a beautiful picture is attracting us? What's so attractive about the beautiful picture? I'm not an artist, but I can suggest.
I cannot judge. That's my weakest point.
I can say for myself, for example, if you see a very beautiful picture, well, me personally, two things are attracting me. First, the beauty of the colors, and especially the amazing combination of the colors. It's something very interesting, very nice, very unique. Why these colors are so attractive? Well, because Krishna, through his energies, enter into them. That's why they are attracting us. And then secondary, you find some kind of harmony inside. Very specific, very interesting harmony. And this harmony becomes attractive. Always harmony is attracting us, beauty is attracting us, color is attracting us. So all these things, they represent Krishna. If you see a huge mountain, like for example Himalayas, why so attractive, like we cannot stop watching it? There is some special Shakti energy of the Lord that He put in this object, and that's why He's so attractive. When you see a very, maybe this is more for a man, not for the ladies, but very expensive car that is making such a noise. Why all the men still like, wow, amazing, yeah, I want to have this. Why so attractive? What's so attractive? It's just a bunch of iron. But for the minds of the men, it's, wow, this is the goal of my life, I want to have this. Why? Krishna, through his energies, entered this object. And that's why he's so attractive. Why for a man, girls are so attractive? Krishna entered in this object, and that's why they are so attractive. And the opposite as well. So basically, through his energies, Krishna is entering everywhere and makes everything, in whatever we are attracted, we should know that actually, to what we are attracted, these are the energies of Krishna. This is what is attracting us. Srila Prabhupada very often is giving the example with the body. When the soul, which is part of Krishna, is in the body is very attractive. We see the warmth, we see the shyness of the eyes. It's very attractive object. Same object, when the soul comes out of the body, is not attractive anymore. It's the same thing, but it's not attractive. Why? Because the Shakti, the energy of Krishna, is not anymore there. So in this way, here we are getting a lesson how to learn while we are in the world, in the material world, everything that is apparently attracting us, not to see it as Maya, as illusion, but rather to see that the attraction of each object is Krishna. And in this way we'll stay Krishna conscious. That's the idea of the whole exercise. And if we are Krishna conscious during our life, we will be Krishna conscious at the time of death. And if we are Krishna conscious at the time of death, we will go back to the spiritual world. That's the idea. So now in this 10th chapter, Krishna is giving many and many examples from the different categories in this material world. What is he? So maybe we can read this list. Even I can ask you, maybe you know some of them. We can have a little bit like a, how to say, interactive session. Yes.
Can I ask one thing?
Yes.
So I remember also, that when he tells Arjuna, he's giving him like divine eyes so that you can see.
Correct.
But what did Arjuna do before that? I don't quite remember. Was he like surrendering totally to Krishna, or what did he have to do to make Krishna do that? Like,
Why Krishna showed him the universal form?
yeah.
Well,
What did he have to do?
he didn't have to do anything, just he wanted it. And because he is very dear to Krishna, Krishna said, because you are my devotee, you are very dear to me, yes, I will show you. So first Arjuna asked Krishna, can you describe me? Krishna said, yes, I can describe you. Then he said, and can you show me? Can you show me? And then Krishna said, yes, I can show you, because you are my dear devotee. But there is one problem. You are on such a level of devotion that this form of mine, the universal form, is much lower. You are already perceiving me as Krishna. Krishna is my highest manifestation. So now, with the eyes that you have, because they are annoyed with the with love, with completely uncontaminated love, with these same eyes you cannot see the universal form. I have to give you lower vision. I have to put you down on the level of the demigods, and then you can see this form. And this is what actually Krishna did. He gave a lower eyes, lower vision to Arjuna. And then Arjuna was able to see the universal form. And then at the end of 11th chapter, Arjuna is saying, thank you very much, I don't want to see this form anymore. It's enough. It's like too frightening. I'm getting really scared. Please, I want to see you in your original form. And then Krishna is saying, sure, I want to have different relationship with you, not as the Supreme Lord. And then immediately Krishna is showing his four-armed form, and then he's showing again his two-armed form as Krishna. And then he's saying to Arjuna, it's very, very difficult to see this form of mine as Krishna. It's very, very difficult. Even demigods, they are always seeking opportunity to see this form, but they rarely have this opportunity. Because Krishna is appearing once in a day of Brahma. So once every 4,320,000,000 years. Only once Krishna is appearing. So very rare opportunity. So this about the divine eyes. He's getting divine eyes, but actually these divine eyes are not higher vision. They are, from the position of Arjuna, they are lower vision. From our position it will be higher vision if we get these eyes. But Arjuna, because he was a pure devotee of the Lord, totally immersed in love, different story. So now, how Krishna is the essence of everything? Well, first Krishna is saying, I am the taste in the water. We all are drinking water, yes? How many times a day? Hare Krishna, thank you, Mataji. How many times a day we are drinking water?
Multiple times.
Yes. How many times when we are drinking water we are remembering Krishna?
Multiple times.
Yeah? Great. Like I generally, when I drink water, I don't remember Krishna. But it's so easy. Like just every time when we are going to drink something, first we have to remember, Krishna is the taste of what I'm drinking, and then drink it. And this way we will be Krishna conscious. So simple. Krishna is the sound in the ether. So when we hear very attractive sound, for example, you walk through the park and suddenly there are some musician playing violin, and it's so beautiful, like wow, it's such a nice sound. So why this sound is so attractive to us? Yes, because Krishna is in this sound, that's why. If someone is just then it won't be attractive, yes, because Krishna is not there. So the beauty of the sound is Krishna. When we hear a nice sound, when we hear a nice song, we should know what attracts me in this is Krishna. Krishna is the ability in man. When we see that some man is extremely good in something, we should know that actually Krishna gave him this ability. Because of that he is very, very good. Like there are people, they are amazing. Like you have all these shows here in US, like what is America is looking for talents and this and that. All kinds of amazing people are coming out and they are doing like
from nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Just wow.
I somewhere, I don't know, maybe on YouTube I saw it or someone showed it to me, one of those shows. Like you have many of those cases. They give some lady apparently kind of not really, I would say, developed. From some village somewhere in I don't know where, like, and she came on the stage really from the perspective of the modern like city people. We are a little bit strange clothes, some clothes from like 50 years ago or something, strange shoes, strange hairstyle. And when she came out on the stage, and more or less people, they start a little bit joking and laughing, and maybe, yeah. I don't remember them.
Beautiful.
Yes, and then even the judges, they were like polite but a little bit like joking. So where are you from? And so you know to sing? And she was saying, well, I don't know, but they're saying I can sing nicely. Okay, so what you're going to think about? Yeah, I'm thinking about this. Okay, let's go. And everybody's thinking that now there'll be some jokes, some fun. And when this lady opened her mouth, and everybody was just stunned. What is this like? What kind of voice? Even you cannot train this kind of voice. Like everybody start crying and this and that. So how it is possible? How it is possible? Apparently this lady, she did some austerities, and because of that Krishna gave her this opportunity. Can you please go and get Armani and tell him to come here and listen? Because I have the responsibility of him. If he want to be here, he has to sit down and listen.
Are you referring to Susan Boyle?
He doesn't know.
I'm
not sure, but absolutely
that
the same
describes her.
experience.
I don't remember the name, but
Out of England, yeah, she was.
or maybe from England.
Then she became really, really big with CDs and everything. But how you described her, and then she opened up her mouth, and everyone was like. Yeah.
Many cases like that.
That's
Some
true.
Hare Krishna. Some you're going?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for being with us.
Yeah. What time is this lecture over?
8:30, 8:40.
8:30.
Yes.
Well, I got somewhere to go. Unfortunately, I'm unable to be here
Next
for them.
week.
Next week, yes.
Hare Krishna, Armani. So, yeah, like some other case, some boy, maybe 4 or 5, and they just put him on the stage and they give this drum kit. He just starts making some amazing thing. How it is possible? Who can do that? Like, there are guys 20, 30 years playing drums, they just watch and they're like, what? So apparently Krishna gave his energy, his Shakti, otherwise it's not possible. Of course we know most probably he was doing this I don't know how many lifetimes before that. Like one time, Srila Prabhupada was with his disciples, and they were, I think, on some airport or something like that, and they show on a screen on the TV Ravi Shankar playing sitar, and Prabhupada was watching a little bit, and he commented. He said he's doing this for at least 100 lifetimes. That's why he's so good, because he's not doing it like 5 years, 10 years. He's doing it so many times. And because he went through this austerity, every day, you just sit and you're doing the same thing again and again, shows your determination to become good in this. At the end, Krishna is satisfied from your austerity. And he's saying, okay, let it be so. You become very good. And then you become good. Or Krishna invests his energy in you. That's why you become special. So in this way, when we are saying Krishna is ability in man, yes, Krishna is satisfied with the endeavors of certain personalities, and he is entering into them, and they become extremely good in something, one sphere or the other. Krishna is heat in fire. So we have fire, but this fire has certain qualities. Gives what? Huh? Heat and light. Correct. So it produces something. It has a certain influence on us. Why when there is fire everybody is watching like that? Why so attractive? Well, because it's energy of Krishna. That's why. We said all attractive things, they are manifestation of the power of Krishna. So when we see the attractiveness of fire, let's say we are in a warm room during the winter, outside is, I don't know,
Nowhere again.
15 Fahrenheit or, huh?
-5 degrees.
-5, -10, and you are in the warm room, and the fire is in front of you, and you're watching it, and you are so attracted. So we should remember, actually what is attracting me now is the energy of Krishna. So I am actually attracted by Krishna. Krishna is the life of all that lives. If we see that there is life in something, this life is Krishna. Without Krishna, that there cannot be life. In the humans, in the plants, in the animals, anywhere. The intelligence of the intelligent. When we see someone is extremely intelligent, well, that's Krishna. The prowess of the powerful man. Why someone is so powerful? So many people are going on fitness. Why some of them are exceptionally strong, exceptionally powerful. Like you have this strong man in Scotland or where? They are lifting huge stones. It's huge. It's so, I don't know how many kilos it is. He's able to catch it and to lift it and put it on one barrel, wine barrel.
The world's strongest man.
How it is possible? Obviously, some special power. There are many big people on the world, but not so many can lift such a huge weight. So Krishna is giving them this special power, special Shakti. I am the light of the sun and the moon. When we see the beautiful sun, the beautiful moon, we should know this is Krishna. I am the strength of the strong. So in 10th canto there are many examples. Let's read some of them. From the lights, Krishna is saying, I am from the different lightning objects in the sky, I am which is the best one?
The brightness.
From all the flying objects that are shining, which one is the best?
The sun.
The sun, yes. That's why it represents Krishna. Among the stars, I am the...
Saturn?
No.
Dhruv.
No.
Among the stars,
Dhruv.
Evening star.
Hmm?
The evening star?
No.
No?
Okay, I think now you'll be a little bit surprised. The moon. Because the moon, according to the Vedas, is considered a star. Why star? Because reflects the light from the sun.
Okay, it just like kind of goes in one package, right?
Yes.
I mean, kind of. Directly, I mean. Directly.
But of course, all this also represents the power of Krishna. Everything, as we said, everything nice and beautiful represents the power of Krishna. Just now here in different categories, the best object is set, and this best object represents Krishna because he's the best. From the great sages, there are many, many great sages, but the greatest of all is who wrote the Vedas?
Oh, yes.
Vyasadeva. So Vyasadeva is incarnation of Krishna. Because he is specially empowered. He has to prepare the Vedas for Kali Yuga. In previous ages, people, they could remember everything. No needed everything to be written down, to be recorded. For Kali Yuga, because people become less intelligent and they cannot remember everything, so it should be written down. So Vyasadeva is doing this very not easy task to write down all the Vedas, put them in a different categories, edit them. So he is representative of Krishna. From all the senses, Krishna is saying, I am the... No. From all the senses, which is the most important sense?
Sight.
No.
No. Sound, no?
Taste.
No.
Touch.
No.
Smell?
Smell.
No.
Oh, mind.
The mind.
Intelligence.
Why the mind?
Mind.
Because all the information from the senses goes in the mind. And the mind interprets the information the way how he wants. Like it can rain outside. This is just the information from the senses. So now what will the mind do with this information? It depends on him. It can say, oh great, it was not raining 2 months. So nice that it's raining. It can say, oh so bad, the whole week it's already raining. Only rain, rain, rain. So the mind interprets the information from the senses. From this perspective, he is the king of the senses. And that's why it represents Krishna. The mind is representation of Krishna. From the vibrations, the different mantras, I am the transcendental mantra. Of course, 100%, but Om. Om represents Krishna. Wherever we see written Om, we should know this is Krishna. Om represents Krishna. From the different sacrifices, I am the chanting of... Yes, chanting of japa. Chanting on beads, mantras, especially Hare Krishna. Krishna is saying, this is me. Among the men, I am... between the amazing shooters with bow, he is Arjuna, yes. But from the man, as a general, he is the... No. Yeah, in a sense, he is the king. The king is considered representative of God. If he is proper king, of course. If he is not, then it's different story.
I mean, it's no name. It's just like
The
any
king.
king.
Any king,
Okay.
any person who stays on a position king and takes care properly for the people, from the citizens, he is especially empowered by Krishna. Krishna is giving him special potency, special power to be able to do this important service. So that's why he is considered representative of Krishna. Among the different sciences, I am the science of the... Which is the most important science?
Spirituality?
Yes,
Spiritual.
spirituality. The science of the self, Atma, Atma Gyan. Spiritual science about our spiritual identity. This is representing Krishna. From the seasons, I am... Yes. Flower-bearing spring, very beautiful season. All seasons are beautiful, but the spring is especially beautiful. From the weapons, I don't think you know this one. The special weapon of Indra, Vajra. Vajra. Thunderbolt, yes. Indra has a very special weapon. It's extremely powerful weapon, the king of heaven. And this weapon is considered is representative of Krishna. It's made by the bones of a very great sage. He was performing austerities for thousands of years. And then the demigods had to win the battle against the demons. And they said, we cannot do it. It's impossible. And then Krishna gave him this advice, goes to this great sage. He is so advanced that he is not at all attached to his body. So ask for his bones. He'll give them to you immediately, no problem. And from these bones you have to make weapon. This weapon will be so powerful you will be able to win the battle. And they went to this sage and they told him, please leave your body and give us your bones. And he was ready immediately to do it. But just for fun, he said, but how you are asking for my body? Don't you know that all embodied living entities, they are extremely attached to his body? They can give up everything else, but nobody is ready to give up his body. Why you are asking me for my body? And they didn't know what to say. And then he said, don't worry. Of course I will give you my body if you want this. And he left his body and they took it. So very, very powerful weapon, very special weapon. Represents Krishna. Among the different cows, I am Kamadeno, Surabi, the cows from the spiritual world. They represent Krishna. They are wish-fulfilling cows. They can give you every amount of milk that you want, and they can fulfill all your other desires. Very special cows, so they represent Krishna. There was one sage, the father of Parashuram. His name was Jamadagni. Jamadagni is his name. He had such a cow. Do you know this story? It's a story from Bhagavatam. He had such a special cow. And of course, he was a simple Brahmin. He didn't need much, but whatever he needed for his sacrifices, he was just asking, and the cow was immediately giving everything, not just ghee, everything. If he needs some special golden pot just for the pleasure of Krishna, immediately the cow was providing everything. So this very famous king Vishwamitra, he was hunting in the forest with many men, and at some point they went to the ashram, spiritual place of this sage Jamadagni. They entered inside and they said, great sage, please show your hospitality. Give us some water to drink and food to eat. And the sage said, sure, of course I will do that. And he put them all to see. They were like hundreds of people. The sage put them, single-handedly he fed them, all of them. And the king was so surprised. He said, I'm a king, you are sage, you live in the forest. You gave us bigger feast than I can give to you if you come to my kingdom. How is this? Please answer my question. And the Jamadagni said, yeah, I have my cow. She's a special cow. She's Kamadeno. And whatever I need, she gives. So she provided all the food for you. And then the king became jealous and said, I want this cow. And I'm the king of this kingdom, so you have to satisfy my desire. And the Brahmin said, I understand, but I need it for my service for Krishna. That's why I cannot give it to you. Please. And then he was insisting. And then Jamadagni said, okay, if you are insisting so much, she's a free cow. I cannot keep her by force. So ask her. If she want to come with you, take her. But if she want to stay here, she has to stay here. And then the king, by force, tried to take her. But because she was a special cow, Kamadeno, just for a second she manifested so many soldiers from herself, and all these soldiers killed all the soldiers of the king. And king was left alone. And he understood, okay, he cannot do anything, he left. But then anyway, it's a whole story after that. But anyway, the point is that actually I'm not sure if it was Jamadagni, the sage. Huh?
think the name was different.
Or Vasishta.
No,
actually.
Vashishta was the guru of Rama.
I think it was Vasishta. That's why they had a quarrel after that, Vasishta. Anyway, I'm not sure about the name of the sage, but I think this story is described in 9th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. But just shows how these cows are very special and they represent Krishna. The Surabi cows or Kamadenu. From the fishes, aquatics in the ocean, I am the shark. Yes, shark. Krishna is saying I am representing. Actually, technically, I heard explanation from some learned devotees that because the word used in Bhagavad Gita is makara. Makara is something like a shark, but it's not exactly a shark. Actually, it's like a special creature which is combination between three animals. Shark, can you open? Shark and two other special, I think alligator and elephant or something like very special. Hare Krishna, welcome.
Special shark.
Very special entity, yes. So this represents Krishna also. Then from the bodies of water, I am the, which is the greatest, ocean. Ocean represents Krishna. So when we go to the shore of the ocean, we have to remember when we see how mighty is the ocean, like these huge waves. Wow. Have you seen sometimes these movies in YouTube? You can see the ocean during storm. Have you? Yes. Like you have these huge waves, sometimes like 10, 12.
70 feet.
Yeah, what is this in meters? Big, I don't know.
About 20 meters.
20 meters.
Yeah, 20, 30, 20, 25 meters.
Huge, huge waves. Can you imagine? You are sitting there on a ship and suddenly you see how a wave is going 20 meters. It's like, what is this? This is the might of the ocean. It's amazing, just amazing. So this represents the power of Krishna, the might of Krishna. Then from the immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Himalayas, they represent Krishna. From the great fighters with weapon, I am Rama. Rama is the greatest fighter. Out of those who are seeking victory, I am the morality. Because when you are fighting with someone, if you want Krishna to be present there, it should be done in a moral way. Like we hear when the battles were led thousands of years ago, there was a special rules. Like the battle starts, let's say, when the sunrise. And the battle is up to sunset. This is the rule. You cannot just go and attack people randomly whenever you want, like how the things happen in Ukraine. Apparently there is some friction, but unexpectedly just during the night, suddenly you just start sending all these planes and they start putting the Iraqis down. It's unmoral. So Krishna is not there. Krishna can be present in the fight as well, but this fight should be moral, equal terms. So we know also during the battle of Kurukshetra, only equal warriors were fighting against each other. Like you cannot see that someone is much weaker than you, and that's why you go attack him, so because you're going to kill him easily. No, that is not allowed. You have to choose a person who is your level, something like that. Then you can fight. Then you can.
Sports, right? Like boxers. Like
Correct.
somebody-
Same category. Exactly. That means moral. Otherwise, it's immoral. You have to use the same weapon. It's not like possible you have, I don't know,
Sticks.
you have a sword and the other guy has a small knife and now you're going to fight. Come on, give me a break. Just same. If he is with knife, you should be with knife. If he is fighting with hands, you should be also with hands. This means moral. So Krishna representing this.
I heard in the revolutionary well, they agreed like they didn't fight on Christmas.
They won't fight.
They didn't.
Okay, yeah.
Two sides.
Well, it is said for, if you know this story, when Krishna, Arjuna and Bhima going to the kingdom of Jarasandha, this demoniac king but very great warrior, they had to kill him because he was creating lots of disturbance. So when they entered, they presented themselves. Krishna said, by the way, they were looking like Brahmins, that's why very easily they entered the kingdom. But then when were they in front of him to ask for charity, because Brahmins, they have the right to ask charity from the king, Krishna starts speaking. He said, by the way, just to tell you, we are not Brahmins, we are your old enemies, Krishna and Arjuna and Bhimasena. And we are here not to ask for any kind of charity, rather we won't fight with you. And then when Jarasandha heard this, he started smiling, laughing. And then he said, sure, if you want to fight, I'll give you a fight. But Krishna, you are a coward. I came to your capital, you escape. So you're not worthy of fighting with me. And actually what happened, Jarasandha, he wanted to take over the capital of Krishna, Mathura. 18 times he was attacking the capital, and every time Krishna was coming single-handedly, only he and Balaram were killing the whole army of Jarasandha, but not killing him, letting him go. Why? Because they were thinking, there are so many demoniac armies at the moment on earth, we have to get rid from them. But why we have to go? Yes. Let him, just keep him alive. He hates us so much, every time he will bring a new army, we will kill them. That's easier. So 18 times they kill everybody. On the 19th time, Krishna decided, okay, now it's time for me to move from Mathura. I'm getting everybody, we are going to Dvaraka to live in the ocean. So apparently he left, and Jarasandha said, aha, now I'm seeing you are just a coward. You are leaving the battle. So that's why Jarasandha said, I cannot fight with you, you're a joke. And Arjuna, he's too small. He's younger than me, so I cannot fight. Bhima, yes, Bhima, he's my category. With Bhima I can fight. And he was really powerful warrior, and 27 days they were fighting against each other, from morning till evening. But then what was the agreement? During the day they were fighting like dead enemies. The moment fight stops, they go in the castle of Jarasandha, and he takes care of them like they're his guests. So there is a huge table, they sit down together on the table, they eat together, they laugh, they joke. He's taking, because that's my duty, I'm the king, these are my guests, I have to take care of them. This is Vedic culture. Yes. Next morning, fight till death. Next evening, we are sitting again. It's amazing. What kind of consciousness you should have to be able to act in this way.
How did Bhima win?
Yes, Bhima is winning. Actually, Bhima had a very hard time, and at the end he doesn't know what to do. He is saying, like, we are fighting, I'm extremely strong, everybody knows, but I cannot beat him. There is something special about him, I cannot beat him. And then he's asking Krishna for help. Krishna, just tell me what to do, like give me some sign, something. And then Krishna takes a small branch from a tree and divides it into two. And then he says to Bhima, this is what you have to do. And Bhima understands immediately, okay, I got it. And he just, while they are wrestling and fighting, he just puts Jarasandha on the ground, pushes one of his feet with his leg, and then pulls the other one, and basically separates his body in two.
Story continues, right?
Oh, because the way he was made, that's how the way he
Correct.
was made. Okay.
When he was born, because of some curse, actually he was born on two halves. The baby was born on two halves, and the king threw him in the forest. But then one witch, her name was Jara, she took the two parts of the body of the baby, and with some special mantras, this and that, she combined them, and the baby became alive. And that's why he got the name Jara Sanda, the person who was connected again by Jara. But very few people knew this secret about him. So Krishna knew it, and that's why he told him. He became alive in this way, he can die in the same way. You just separate the two parts of his body and he'll die. Otherwise you cannot kill him. He's too powerful. So this is what Bhima did. But just my point was to show that if there is a moral, Krishna is present there. If there is no moral, Krishna is not present, even in the fight. Yes?
Yes, before you were talking about the sage, and you said, okay, you can have my body. So, with death, is it our will to go, or is it pre-planned already? Birth and death and everything in between is free will?
We have some free will, but it's not all free will. It's a little complicated topic.
Well, with death, that's what I'm curious about. When you said to him, okay, you can have my body, and he, went. Like, with death?
Mystic yogis, the great sages, they can do this. They can leave their body by their own will. In Bulgaria, we have one saintly person. He wrote many books. He's quite famous. I don't think he's famous in US, but in Europe he's quite famous. He has followers all over Europe, in Greece, in France, many other places. And they said that when he decided to die, he actually did it by his own will. He just said, because the communists were creating lots of problems for him.
Who said, for example, when I decide to die, I died, right? Who said how it works?
This is what he did. He said, I don't want to live anymore, and then he left.
He just gone, right?
Yes. His heart just stopped working at that moment, without any physical, medical reason for that. So the great sages, they can do this thing by a certain technique. They can choose the time when they leave the body. Why? Because mechanically it is said that according to the time when you leave, you go to a certain destination. So if you want to go to the moon, you have to leave in a certain time. If you want to go to sun, you have to leave in a certain time. If you want to go to the planet of Brahma, you have to leave in a certain time. So they know this science, so mechanically they can adjust the situation in order to reach a certain destination. It's a science, very subtle science, yoga science. But advanced yogis, they know this, they can use this.
One time I heard that before, there's a famous person on YouTube, Sadhguru or something.
Sadhguru.
He follows Lord Shiva, and he described his wife dying like that.
Not exactly, but one of the Buddha monk,
Mm-hmm.
Sadhguru, he witnessed
How
they
he did
had
it.
it on the video, like he left his body, and all the disciples were sitting around praying, and finally when the hand came down, everyone like he left the body. So it is a live video of that on the YouTube from Sadhguru.
Yeah. I don't have experience with that. I don't know how it's working.
Thank goodness.
But
Why not?
in Bhagavad Gita, in the end of 8th chapter, Krishna is describing these two ways, how there are mainly two ways to live this world, in light and in darkness. Krishna is describing very precisely the symptoms. But then at the end he is saying, but this is not applicable for my devotees. My devotees, doesn't matter when they will live. I will take personally care of them. So this is more for the people who are not devotees, because if they want to accomplish something, reach certain destination, they have to take in consideration all these things. Otherwise they won't. For the devotees it's a different system. For the devotees they just have to think about Krishna. Krishna will take care of them. So for us it's very easy. Just Hare Krishna, and everything is fine. Okay, so...
And Prabhu,
Mhm.
that was correct. Rishi Jamdagni.
Jamadagni.
Yeah.
He was.
He was the father of.
Okay. I'm not sure, like,
No, it's 100%.
maybe there are two different cases.
No, it's
Also.
100%.
Okay, Jamadagni. So from the demigods I am, who is the greatest demigod?
Shiva. Brahma.
Shiva also is, he is representative of Krishna, but in a different category.
Wait.
Indra.
Indra.
Indra. Because he is the king of the demigods. He is the king. And we said the king represents Krishna. So that's why he represents Krishna. From the secret things, from the secrets, I am the silence. Silence represents Krishna. If you are able to keep secrets, that means you are Krishna conscious, to some extent.
Be still and know that my God is.
Yeah. From the flowing rivers, I am Ganges, Mother Ganga. Among the law keepers, I am, who is the greatest law keeper, greatest judge in the universe? Who is deciding the destiny of all living entities? Shani, yes. Dharmaraj. Who is Dharmaraj? His name is also Yamaraj. Yamaraj, the intendant, he is sometimes known as the intendant of death. Why? Because he decides the destiny of the living entities according to what they did in this lifetime. He decides what will happen after this lifetime with them. He is residing on a special planet, Pitriloka. He has his people, his servants. His main secretary is known as Chitragupta. He is such a powerful living entity that he is writing down all the deeds of everybody. Whatever we are doing, secretly or not, he knows it and he writes it down. He has this special power. Everything good, everything bad, everything spiritual, everything is there. He knows everything. There are many stories how I think one story is some sinful guy went to Yamaraj. He died and went, and Yamaraj was looking at him, apparently seeing that and then he has Chitragupta. And Chitragupta started reading. He did this, and Yamaraj was getting more and more angry and fearsome. And this guy, he was like, what is going to happen now with me? And then he said, did he perform some good activity in his life? And Chitragupta was, I don't see. No. Wait a minute. Yeah? One time there was a Harinam and he waved to the Sankirtan devotees. And Yamaraj said, well, that means he's a devotee, so now we cannot put him to hell. Okay, give him a second chance, bring him back. They brought him back to his body and he became a devotee. Because he understood, now I should do something different. So there are many stories like that. So Yamaraj, he is representative of Krishna, the greatest lawmaker. Amongst the demons, I am this little bit tricky question. I don't know if you okay, I'll help you. Amongst the demons, I am Prahlad Maharaj.
Oh,
You can say, well, but he's not a demon, he's a
the son
devotee.
of
He's born in the family of the demons. That's why.
Yeah.
From the family of the demons, Prahlad Maharaj represents Krishna. Amongst the beasts, I am the... Who is the most ferocious beast?
Kansa?
Huh?
You like animal or
Animal.
like lion or something?
Lion.
Oh, lion.
Lion represents Krishna. We said the king represents Krishna. So lion is the king in the jungle. He is representative of Krishna. When we see the might of a lion, the way how he's roaring, okay, this is something special. So Krishna gave him this special power.
And in Narnia, the book Narnia, the lion is God.
Yeah?
I don't know, something that's right, I can't remember.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lord Nrsimhadev.
Nrsimhadev is partially a lion. Yes. Among the birds, I am.
Peacock.
No.
No?
Among the birds,
Like falcon,
Oh
eagle.
no, Garuda.
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 Ego is great, but Garuda ego is the greatest.
Even better.
Oh, he is
Greatest.
special representative of Krishna. You know who is Garuda? Do you know? Who knows?
Lord Narayan.
Who knows who is Garuda?
I mean, what kind of bird you mean?
Do you know that Garuda is the
I
carrier
know
of
that
Vishnu?
the Garuda is
Carrier of
Vishnu.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know this? Vishnu,
It was
Supreme
like
Lord,
it
when
was
he want to go
easily
from one place to the other,
done.
he has different carriers. But his main carrier is this bird, Garuda. So he goes on the top of Garuda, and Garuda can fly with amazing speed and brings Krishna wherever he want to go. There are many stories where this is described, how Garuda is bringing Krishna. Sometimes when Krishna has to fight with demons, for example, Krishna is fighting with the demons, and Garuda, he is also from down fighting. With his wings, he is just slapping them like anything. With his beak, knocking them
They
down.
put that portion in that movie Avatar.
Uh-huh.
So, like,
Maybe.
the actual, scene they were trying to picturize was Vishnu and Garuda. Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Most probably. So Garuda. And from the creators in this universe, I am
So,
Brahma. Brahma is also representative of Krishna. So many, many, many. At the end of this chapter, Krishna is saying, to Arjuna, dear Arjuna, I mean, what is the use to continue? What is the use? Like, I have so many representations, I cannot describe them all. I can just give you some hint. I am the best of everything. So the verse is saying, know that all opulent, beautiful, glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. With a single fragment of myself, I pervade and support this entire universe. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, what's the use to describe all this? Just with just a small fraction of my power, I maintain this whole universe. What to speak of all the different opulences within the universe? Oh, this is my might, my power, my opulence. So again, to finish this topic, whenever we live our material life, when we are attracted by something, we should analyze and think about it. Why I am attracted by this object? And whatever we see that is attracting us, we should understand. I'm actually not attracted from this thing itself. I'm attracted from the energy of Krishna that enter inside and make this thing so attractive. So in this way, try to be Krishna conscious. Whatever it is, whatever it is, whatever it is, whatever is attracting us, we should try to analyze and see Krishna is the attractive force in this thing. That's the point. Do you have some questions on this topic?
In the way here, I was late because I came to the traffic on the Flatbush Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, I was saying to Siddharth, I told, I'm always in time, I'm kind of proud of myself, I am cool, I should wait to everyone, right? And today I'm looking at time and it's late. I said, okay, what? So nobody in the, that's like, it's in a taxi, like vans goes run by
the
Flatbush
dollar
Avenue,
taxi,
like $2 you can get. So I just relaxed and said, okay, whatever. So I'm just relaxed, just watching people, whatever. And why it's traffic? Friday and summer, spring season, plus Barclays Center.
crowded.
Not too crowded, but it's already start to work more and more. And so I get earlier from this van and I just walk to this place. And I'm thinking, these merchants, people go this way, I have to go like that way, just traffic and people traffic, just something. And I'm thinking, oh my God, we live in underground world. when you cut the dirt, you can see like roots of plants. You can see some creatures, who's just doing something. Today I was just in the middle of that, and just oh my goodness, things Krishna, like Krishna, I'm getting just not getting old. It's kind of, we get adjusted already somehow, like some of our houses, our lives, and like something. But it's just like today, just really just like wow, it's just the ground was just cut, and I see that just
Everything.
I saw recently, just 30 seconds, we'll try. Recently, multiply videos of germs, something, different creatures. We don't even know they exist. They don't know we exist, but they kind of relate to each other, like
They have their universe.
So we are
Yes.
some creatures who just kind of just do something.
So Krishna is so amazing. He gives a place for everybody.
At least like try to understand that, so that is.
Yes. Yes. Krishna is everywhere around us. That's why he is all-pervading. Just the question is if we are conscious about him. He's everywhere, but generally we are not conscious about him. So Krishna consciousness means in whatever situation we are, we don't have to change the situation. We have to change our consciousness and start seeing Krishna within this situation. Very often we think, oh, situation is not good. I have to change the situation and then everything will be okay. No. No matter what kind of situation you put yourself in this material world, it will be again relative. Relative means there will be something good and something bad about it. No matter where you are living, in what kind of building, with who you are living, how much money you have, always your situation will be relative. But if we change our consciousness, if it becomes Krishna consciousness, then no matter what kind of situation we are, we will be happy and satisfied. We may see, some things are good, some things are not so good, but I'm happy. It could be much worse. So why don't be satisfied? So this is the benefit of Krishna consciousness. In whatever situation we are, we will be always happy, satisfied. And then I want to start at least our next topic. I don't think we can finish it, but just start it. Our next topic is the 3 modes of material nature. It's also very important and very practical topic. 3 modes of material nature. So, what means mode? Or the Sanskrit word is guna. What means guna? Sanskrit. You know what's the meaning?
Guna means,
Someone else?
Quality.
Quality is one translation, yes. But there is other very interesting word of guna. Rope. Guna means rope. Why? Because the 3 gunas, they're like ropes that are keeping us
together.
Attached. We are like a wooden dough on a ropes, and we are just moving. Sometimes one quality, one rope is pushing us one way, the mode of goodness, and we feel very happy, very peaceful, very satisfied, everything is perfect. Next moment, the rope of passion is pushing us, Rajaguna, and suddenly we become dissatisfied. We have so many things we want to achieve. We are thinking, now I'm not happy, but when I get these things, then I'll be happy. Immediately our consciousness changes. Next moment, the rope of ignorance is pushing us, and then we start feeling demotivated, inactive, very lethargic. We don't want to do anything. We don't want to have any goals. Everything becomes extremely dark, useless. Everything is falling apart in my life. Why I'm living this life? Nobody loves me.
You describe very well. Did you go through it?
What do you think? I'm not coming from the spiritual world. Yes, I went through it as all of us. So this, if you want to go. Don't feel obliged. These robes, they are, the word in Bhagavad Gita used is conditioning us. What means conditioning?
The rope like strangled us, so they didn't give us
Yes.
to move
Give you the
freely
experience.
to
Yes.
just kind
If we were
of, to material world.
Yes,
Right?
if we were unconditioned, that would mean we won't be dependent on them. We can be completely free from their influence. But that they are conditioning us means we become influenced by them. And we act not independently. But the interesting thing is that although we are influenced by them, we are not conscious about this. We think that this is me, this is I. Sometimes the goodness in influencing us, and we're thinking, this is me. I'm a very peaceful person. I'm very advanced. I'm very knowledgeable. And next moment, the passion is catching us, and we are saying, yeah, I'm very productive. I can achieve whatever I want in this world. I can make millions of money. Nobody is as productive as me. This I will do, and this, and this, and this. We really think this is me. And next moment, the passion is, the tamas, the ignorance is coming. We think, I'm useless, I cannot do anything. People are achieving so many things, and I am completely, everything is broken apart. My family, my job, my boss is not happy. This is me, I am worthless. I cannot do anything. And we really think this is me. But actually, we are not this. We are neither the good person, neither the passionate person, not the ignorant person. This is not us.
Is that the Maya?
I see the metaphor when Krishna planned us here, and we are just like stressed
Yes.
from material
We are
circumstance.
correct.
You know, like this
Cut-
way or
cut
that
quickly.
way.
We are the observer of all this. We are just looking. Just like, this, well, let's give the example of a cinema. You enter the cinema, you are in the cinema. Many different movies can be projected, yes? And you start identifying with the movie. Sometimes very peaceful, very relaxed movie, maybe some documentary, something like. Sometimes some action movie, action, from the beginning till the end. Sometimes some drama. The main hero and the heroine, they have to meet, but they don't meet. And then what will happen? And one is killing himself, and the other, oh no, it's like, I want to keep myself also, and everything should finish. And Romeo and Juliet, something like that. But you are not neither the first, the second, or the third. You are something completely aloof. But you identify so much with it, you think this is me. And this we call Maya. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I strongly relate to that. Like, kind of in my, I guess you could say, spiritual journey, I've started to notice, like, I mean, I've always kind of been like a very like analytical, thoughtful person, but I've specifically started to notice like how something is making me feel. Like something will trigger a certain reaction in me, and I'll like realize that, like, oh, look at how this is making me feel. I wonder why this is making me feel this way. Why this is giving me this kind of reaction, even if it's a good reaction, like a happy reaction. I'm more observant that, or I guess I'm more aware that I'm the observer of it in a sense.
Yes, we are the observers.
Exactly. That's it.
We are in this sense, we are not the doers. The modes of material nature, these robes, they are the doers. They are pulling us in one way or the other. We are just the observers. So this is one thing extremely important to understand. Very, we could say easy point to get, but very important, very practical at the same time. Because if we understand this, although we are going through many different situations in life, we won't become so, how to say, disappointed, depressed from them if they are heavy situations. Because we understand, well, these are different conditions. I just have to go through them. Just like you have to go for work. And one day you come out and it's very nice, very sun is shining, nice weather, warm, and you enjoy. And next day you come out and it's raining, like you whole become wet and this. Or next day, yeah, there is a snowstorm, but you don't identify with it. You just know, I just have to go through it. I'm coming out, now I have to walk 10 minutes, and then I'm out of it. And then I'm in a different place. It's the same thing. But just we become so used to it that we accept that this is me. This is me. So, to some extent, it's important and it's necessary in spiritual life that we start to differentiate between us and between our conditioning. How our body is conditioned and how our mind is conditioned, this is not me. There is one spiritual master, very philosophical, analytical, maybe some of you have heard about him, Suhotra Swami. One time in one lecture he made a very interesting statement. He said, the moment that aspiring spiritualist stops to differentiate, make difference between himself and his body, his spiritual life is over. Why? Shall I repeat again?
Yes.
What I said? The moment when the aspiring spiritualist stop to differentiate between himself and his body and his mind, his spiritual life is over. Why? Why is that? Spiritual life means what? What is the idea of spiritual life?
Yeah, I think you said it.
Huh?
We're not our body.
We are not. We are spirit soul. And the moment we forget this and we start thinking, actually I'm not a spirit soul, I am this mind and the desires of the mind and the feelings of the mind and all these things, then we will go somewhere else. We will forget who are we. So our self-realization, at least for some time, it will be put aside. Yes.
But how can you really do this? Because I feel sometimes when something bad, for example, happens to you, would maybe mourn and like, it's hard to just say, just do this, like just feel this way or just think like that. How can you like
It is hard, and
really do it? Like,
it is hard, and especially some very heavy material situations, they will really make it difficult for us. But we don't really have a choice if we want to make a spiritual advancement, because this would mean that you say, okay, I want to forget the reality and come back to the illusion. Do you know this movie, The Matrix? Have you watched the first part of Matrix? So do you remember one of the good guys? At some point it became, the whole reality, it just became too much for him. He came out of the Matrix, he saw the actually what's going on in life, and at some point he said, this is too much. And he asked for a meeting with the bad guys, with the agents of the Matrix. And he was eating in the restaurant, and he was saying to this agent, I just want to forget everything, and I just want to be part of the illusion. And then he started eating his whatever was on his plate, and he said, I know it's not real, but I like it, so I just want to forget about it. So we can do that, but is it an option? We were there many, many thousands of lives, and we know what is it. We know what means to live in the mode of goodness. We know what means to live in the mode of passion. We know what means to live in the mode of darkness. We experience it all. You cannot get anything else than these three. The only other option is to revive your spiritual consciousness and experience the eternal spiritual reality of bliss, knowledge, and eternity. That's the only other option. Everything else we already know what is it. We know what is to take drugs. We know what means to have a relationship. We know what means to go in a mountain and live alone there. We know all the options. We did them. this lifetime, previous lifetime, we experience all this. And now there is some spark within us. Okay, I don't want these things, I want something else. What we want to be established in our real spiritual self, spiritual existence. So when these difficult situations comes, we can say, yes, I know it's difficult, but still I'm not this body and I'm not this mind. This does not mean that you won't feel the emotions. You feel the emotions, but you know I'm not these emotions. Is it easy?
It's hard, but maybe
It-
with
the
practice
emotions
it can
it's
be
hard.
easier.
Yes, it's hard. For me it's also hard. And not only for us, for all the different spiritualists, it's also hard. You can practice for 20 years, and then let's say, I don't know, if you see your mother or your father leaving the body or something like that, it's natural to cry. Because there is attachment. But at the same time, deeply in yourself, you know, they are not this body, and they are not dying. And actually, why I have to cry? Nothing bad is happening with them. At the end of the day, we have this knowledge. We know this. Yes, sorry.
The longer you go through hardship, right? A hardship. So first hardship, it's terrible. I cannot leave. It's hard. Nobody can have this experience like me, for example. Right? But when hardship comes in second time, third time, fourth time, 10th time, another time, 10th, you know, okay, this hardship, this hardship, what you do, you know, it's hard because we are body. We're body. If somebody will step on your feet, we know we're not body, we will scream, right? Even 10 times, you know, like even 10 times. So, but emotionally, it's not a distancing, it's loving and having, but like for example, for me, sometimes even watching movie or some people, just some situation, my heart is just breaking. And I say, if I can do that, I can die from breaking my heart. So now I'm thinking, should I die? No, you know, like I just put like mentally whatever, put my heart back, and you know, like it's hard to live without. But if I will break this heart now, so I will not break that heart now. You know, like it's just very slow steps to learn. It still hurts. It's still hard. But at least this time that can help you, you know, and that special robot tool get through it, you know, like, flashlight, you have, just, you know what I'm talking about. It's not a recipe, but for me, it's my own experience. Just go through one, so, you know, you already, okay, what's next, or, you know, like, sometimes just take a deep breath and just relax in between, because you know everything is just something happened next day. I'm watching movie Radha Krishna. I cannot watch a lot, you know why? Because something good happened, you know, like just, like Hallelujah, right? Hare Krishna.
Hallelujah.
Something just getting bad, and you know, like, I cannot watch. I switch off and just okay, just keep going, like next, you know, like it never stops, you know.
Emotions are something natural for the soul. In the spiritual world also we will have emotions. But the point is that the emotions we are experiencing now, they are not real. They are illusionary. That's the problem. So we are in illusion. We know that the best way to come out of the illusion practically is to chant Hare Krishna. And we are serious in this practice, then we will see how we will start differentiating between us and our mind and our body. It will be very clear. I'm using this body, I'm using this mind, but I'm not the mind. I observe how the mind is thinking different things. He becomes angry at this one, he likes this one, but this is not me. I'm something apart from it. And the body in the same way. Oh, today I'm fasting, my body feels weak. But I don't feel weak. I'm fine. But the body, the machine that I'm using, is feeling weak. By chanting of Hare Krishna, it will become more and more amazingly clear how we are different from the body and the mind. But as you're saying, it will take a little time. But this is very important moment to understand. We should understand we are not the body, we are not the mind. And the body and the mind, they are pulled again and again from these ropes. So now the last point I want to make for today, and then we'll over. And next time we'll continue with the very juicy practical part about the three modes. It will be very interesting, I promise you. The last thing I want to say for today is that there is gradation between these three modes. They are not on the same level. And we know Srila Prabhupada many times in his books he is writing that the mode of goodness or sattva guna is the stepping stone for spiritual realization. So mode of goodness is material thing. But from the life of mode of goodness, you can very easily start perceiving the spiritual reality. So life in the mode of goodness is very conducive for spiritual advancement. Life in the mode of passion and ignorance, not so. Why? Because makes our consciousness goes very down and we are very away from the spiritual reality. That's why again and again by reading the books of Srila Prabhupada we will be coming to the point he was saying mode of goodness, mode of goodness, mode of goodness. We have to learn to develop habits in the mode of goodness. How we do that? Srila Prabhupada is saying by associating with mode of goodness. It's not that we will by force put ourselves in the mode of goodness. No. We just have to put ourselves in the environment of a mode of goodness, and in this way our consciousness will become more and more influenced by the mode of goodness. So it will become easy for us. What means situation in the mode of goodness? What means situation in passion? What means situation in ignorance? What kind of foods are in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance? What kind of place? What kind of people? How to understand when we are influenced by one or the other? This we are going to speak next time. We will go through many practical details. They will describe what means goodness, what means worker in the mode of goodness. How to understand when I'm working, am I working in goodness, in passion, or in ignorance? What means sacrifice in these three modes? What means food? What means intelligence influenced by the three modes? How we are going to perceive the world around us? All these things we are going to describe next time. So it will be very practical lesson again. Krishna, not by chance, in the beginning of the chapter in Bhagavad Gita where he is describing the three modes of material nature, he is saying, now I will give you the knowledge better from everything that I gave you till far. And before that he is saying so many important things, like he is describing himself and the soul, everything, so many important lessons. Why he is saying this knowledge is higher than the previous? Well, we can say from a practical point of view, we can say it's better because it can help us very much practically to observe our situation, to see where are we, to understand, okay, am I down, am I in the middle, am I up, to be able to judge our situation. That's why it's very important, very practical, very good knowledge, the knowledge of the three modes of material nature. Sometimes people are asking us, they come to Krishna consciousness and they are asking, so how do you know this whole philosophy of Krishna consciousness is real? You're speaking some, I don't know, for me it looks like a phantasmagory, like a dream, like a myth, like you're speaking about different planets and some snakes in the universe, they're holding on all the universes, and you have some rivers in the sky, Viraja river, and you have all these amazing concepts about some yugas which are like long for millions of... How do you know these things? Like, come on, give me a break. How to... And at the end of everything, you just come and tell me that God is a blue cow boy and he is just hurting the cows the whole day. Like, that's your concept for spirituality? Come on, give me a break. How to know that this is true? Sometimes people, they come and they say this. Well, we don't know. We don't know, because here we saw Krishna? No. We saw the Kamadenu cow? that gives everything? We don't know. We don't know. But there are certain things from Bhagavad Gita we can perceive that they are reality. And this is one of the main things we can perceive. We can perceive the three modes of material nature, how they are around us, how they are influencing our consciousness constantly. If someone is pure in their lifestyle, in their consciousness, they will observe this, they will see. And then one starts getting faith. He starts believing that, well, if this part of Bhagavad Gita is true, why not the other part? Maybe I cannot perceive it at the moment, but I practically see that this is part of my life, so I guess the other one will be also true. And then we are given a process through which we can verify this. The process of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, association with devotees, taking prasadam. We can see if this is truth or not, if it's working or not. We can make an experiment. And then at the end we will see what's the result after the experiment. So it's very practical knowledge. Stay tuned for the next time. You'll be happy, I'm sure. And we'll have lots of fun. We'll have fun.
As always.
Yes, as always. So thank you very much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaura Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.